Hey Gen Xers, are you feeling stuck in today's home buying market? Rising costs, fierce competition, and limited inventory can make the home buying experience feel hopeless, especially for Gen X buyers, balancing family, careers, and life changes. But don't worry, today I'm sharing with you 10 insider hacks that will help you save money, avoid headaches, and land the perfect home in 2025. Let's dive in. Unfortunately, buying a home in 2025 isn't just about finding the right home. It's about implementing smart strategies to successfully navigate the most competitive real estate market in recent memory. Whether you're downsizing, upsizing, or buying your dream home, these 10 insider hacks will help Gen Xers like you get an extreme edge in today's market. Hack number one is understanding your financial power. Rising interest rates and inflation have made home affordability a real challenge. I would highly suggest you contact a local mortgage lender who can get you pre-approved for a mortgage, go through your credit, go through all your tax statements, your pay stubs, things like that to make sure that everything's in good order. Now, sometimes you might find that while you think everything is in good order, they run your credit and all of a sudden, there's a problem or an issue that comes up that may not even be your fault. I've seen plenty of people out there maybe have a typical name like, let's say, a John Smith or a Jane Doe or something like that, and maybe they have a family member or relative, a sibling, or potentially somebody else from across the country who has the same name, and the credit gets mixed up. So I've seen those things happen plenty of times before, so it's best to get out in front of it, talk to your mortgage lender early, have them run credit, have them look through all your documents to make sure you have a clean bill of health. It's also important when you're talking to your lender to calculate out your full budget in advance. What I mean by that is beyond just the price range that you're looking to purchase in and the interest rate that you're looking at, you also want to take into consideration some of the other fees that are going to be involved, like taxes, like HOA or condo fees, maintenance fees, things like that. And when you go to purchase also, you're going to have closing costs that are going to need to be paid upfront as well. Primarily what you should expect is that the closing costs are going to run you between maybe a low of 2% to a high of 5%, depending upon where you are. A good mortgage lender, a good realtor should be able to kind of hone in on those things for you. But once again, extremely important to kind of know these things up front and budget those up front as well. And while we're discussing budgeting and getting ready for the purchase, I'm going to give you a bonus hack. And I think that bonus hack is you're going to want to find a top and professional real estate agent in the area that you are looking to purchase. Now, a top real estate agent in your area, and once again, I mean a top real estate agent in your area, because if you watch my videos at all, you know that what I say is that 80% of the agents throughout the country, I don't care where you are, absolutely are horrible. There's a lot of newbie boobies that get into the business who, want to get rich real quick. Usually as quick as they get into the business, they're out of the business. You have a lot of part-timers. You have a lot of people that, are somewhat dysfunctional. They can't make it in normal corporate life. So it's like, you know what? I'll get a real estate license. I'll be my own boss. And so be careful of those type of agents. You want to make sure that you're getting a top agent in your area who knows the marketplace, who has a track record of success, who's got great reviews online on places like Zillow and Google. A great real estate agent is not only going to be able to help find properties that are on the market and negotiate the best deals for you, but a really good real estate agent can also find you off-market deals that nobody else knows about that you're not going to find on places like Zillow and Redfin. So while we're talking about top agents in the area and the importance of aligning with one, if you are watching this video, the chances are you're probably thinking about moving yourself. And if you need a referral to an awesome agent in your area, the good news is I have a vast network of some of the top agents throughout the country that I've personally vetted. Chances are I've got a really good agent that works in your neighborhood. So if you'd like that referral, and there's no obligation, then you're going to want to simply either scan the QR code on your screen or click the link in the description box below that says agent referral. Fill out a little form. Don't forget to put your number on. I'll give you a quick call. Don't worry, I'm not going to harass you. I'm not going to stalk you to death, but we can talk a little bit about what's important to you so that I can make a great handoff to that agent. Go ahead, scan the QR code, fill out the form, and let's move on. The second hack I would say is when you're looking at properties, whether those are on Zillow, whether those are on Redfin, whether realtor.com, compass.com, one of the key things is you're going to want to look past the photos. Now, it's natural just to look at photos. However, photos can be very misleading. I've gone to plenty of homes that look great in the photos, and then they do not match up to what they look like online when you go see them in person. It's a little bit like a bad badmatch.com or Tinder Date, where, you're looking at photos of somebody that might be 30 pounds less, and then you get there to the Starbucks, and you're realizing like, whoa, there's some serious false advertising here. Well, we definitely also see that in real estate. Conversely, I've seen a lot of properties also where, you have a bad agent who takes bad photos with like an iPhone 6 or something like that and posts them online. And so your expectations are, you're thinking, oh God, this house really sucks. I don't know that I want to see it. When in reality, it's actually a pretty nice house. So don't be just going off of photos alone. You want to check deeper into some of the other things. I will still tell you today that in 2025, nothing beats boots on the ground, actually getting in there, seeing it, walking through there. That is where the proof is in the pudding. Hack number 3 is you want to focus on long-term value. And what I mean by that is you want to look at things beyond just the house itself. Of course, most home buyers, they talk to me all about the house and the things that they need to have and the must-haves and the do-not-haves and all of those things, the wish list. What I usually find out is that even while the house is super important, I always say that the neighborhood you purchase in is actually more important. You could always do things to enhance and change and renovate your house. Heck, you can even add on to your house to create more square footage. However, the neighborhood you have is the neighborhood you have, and there's very little that you can do to positively impact the neighborhood itself. So while home is definitely important, and I definitely say, you need to make sure that you get a lot of those boxes checked off that you're looking for, you definitely want to take a look at the community and some of the things around it that offer long-term value. For example, schools are of paramount importance. Even to you Gen Xers like me out there who either their kids have moved out of the house or maybe they're getting close to moving out of the house and you really don't even need to use the school system, it's still important for resale because the higher demand schools are going to elevate the value of the home. The chances are when you go to sell someday that you're probably going to get a Gen Z or maybe a millennial who's got kids who want to go to that school district. So definitely focus on the schools. You want to check test scores and things like that to make sure that you're looking at a community that's higher demand schools. Long-term value, take a look at the schools, take a look at your surroundings, make sure that these are long-term value things that are going to elevate the value of your property over time. Hack number 4, leverage the power of negotiation. Now, when it comes to negotiating, I will tell you that, so much depends upon the market that you're in. Like where we are right now in the DC area, we've got a pretty hot market that definitely favors home sellers. So negotiating can be pretty tough, especially in a spring market when oftentimes you're finding that you were competing against 3, 5, maybe 10 offers. So a lot of times negotiating gets thrown out the window when you've got that much demand for the property. But in other parts of the country, demand may be less. This is why it's important to align with a top agent because he or she will be able to tell you what type of market climate you're in. Are you in the type of market where you can potentially negotiate price terms? Are you in the type of market where maybe you can negotiate the sellers to pick up some of your closing costs, maybe all of your closing costs? Once again, that's going to be case by case, market to market, season to season, but always know that is a possibility. So once again, check with your agent the ability that you have to negotiate. It might be more than you think. Hack number 5, master the art of inspections. Now, I will say that the art of inspections kind of goes hand in hand with number 4, the leverage of negotiations, and a lot is depending upon the type of market that you're purchasing in. We're in a market right now where, when you're competing against 3 or 4 or 5 other buyers, it's nearly impossible to get a home inspection contingency written into a contract. However, there are a few hacks around that. With a lot of my buyers, what we're doing is we're actually scheduling a home inspection to be done on the property before we write the contract. And this is a little bit of reverse engineering. Typically you're going to write a contract, have a contingency for maybe 5 or 7 days that after the contract's accepted, you would do the inspection. Then we're talking about actually doing the inspection before you write the contract, which, has a little bit of risk, but the only risk I really see is maybe you're spending $300, $400, $500 on an inspection for a home that you either decide you don't want to buy or a home that you end up offering on but don't end up getting. And while nobody wants to lose $300 or $400 or $500, at the same point, when you're purchasing the type of property in the price point that you're purchasing, that's a very small price to pay. One of the things we're doing is we're doing the pre-inspection. We're getting our inspector and the buyer in there before we write the contract. Most cases, there's going to be some items that are found to be faulty or maybe defective. And then it's up to you as the buyer to determine, do I even want to buy this house knowing what I know now? Or do I want to move forward knowing what I know now? And the key thing is you're either moving forward or you're moving away from the property with eyes wide open. So this is a great great way of getting the inspection, yet not having the contingency in the contract, which might end up killing the deal. But once again, that agent should be able to tell you based on the climate of the market, which ones are possible and which ones are most likely are not. Hack number 6, I like to call the Kenny Rogers hack. You gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and know when to walk away. Not every house is worth the risk or price. If you go through a house and you find that there's a ton of major repairs that need to be done, ton of updates, and it blows out your budget, then you know what? Walk away. Also, your agent should be able to show you a market evaluation if you're interested in the property. They'll be able to give you an evaluation which will show you what comparable homes have sold for recently in the neighborhood, and so to get a good idea as to how well priced this home is. So, if you're looking at homes and you're seeing that the average of the last 6 homes that sold in the neighborhood over the last year is X, yet this property is X plus 15, 20%, and there's really nothing about this house that's super special, beyond the other ones that recently sold. This house is overpriced, and it's probably a house that you're going to want to walk away from. So once again, don't be afraid to walk away. Be that Kenny Rogers, know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and know when to get the hell out of Dodge. Hack number 7 is downsize or upside with purpose. Many Gen X buyers are in transition, downsizing as kids leave or upsizing for multi-generational living. You need to think about your future needs, like aging in place, or hosting family in your home, like aging parents, or guess what? Those pesky kids that won't leave the nest. I would suggest looking for homes with multifunctional spaces to maximize value. Possibly one of the things you want to take into consideration for the future is one floor living. So looking for homes that do have like at least a primary bedroom and primary bath on the main level, or heck, maybe they have all of the bedrooms and baths on the main level. These type of homes oftentimes can be hard to find. However, they can allow you to age in place and also give you greater flexibility, once again, with elderly parents or possibly kids that come back to the house. Hack number 8 is to use technology to your advantage. These days, of course, there's many apps out there that you can use on your phone, obviously is on your laptop as well. Everything from Zillow to Redfin. I will tell you, and I'm gonna toot the company horn a little bit, that the Compass app I think is probably the best app out there for a whole host of reasons. These apps, you can set up your search, you can create your search parameters, your filters and all that, set it up so that when the right property comes up that meets your criteria, it will email you immediately to let you know about new homes that come on the market, as well as things like price adjustments and change of statuses. So maybe there's a property that was pending, it was under contract, and the contract fell through, it now came back on the market. You get notified about things like that. The reason I like the Compass app is that beyond just having access to all the properties that are in the multiple listing service, the Compass app also has a lot of properties that are off market. So at Compass, many of the properties that we have are going to be listed private exclusive for a period of time before they go on the market. So when you go to Compass, not only are you going to find everything that you can find on the Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, but you're also going to find Compass off-market properties as well. So as I like to say, instead of seeing 100% of the market, you're actually seeing probably closer to 110, 120% of what's on the market. And if you need any help, getting on the Compass app, feel free to hit me up and I'd be happy to help you out with that. Hack number 9 is think like an investor. Even if it's your primary residence, you need to think about future appreciation. And as we discussed earlier, you need to think about the attributes of the home and the attributes of the community that will add to appreciation and it will allow the value to grow over time. You definitely want to focus on homes in areas where they've got high job growth and low crime rates. And I always say too that, like when you're buying a home, you need to think like a good pool player. A good pool player is taking one shot, setting up the next shot. And so you always need to be thinking about future resale when it comes to purchasing. So other things that are going to be appealing to buyers down the road are going to be energy efficient items, layouts and floor plans and things like that. So once again, you want to take your one shot thinking about your next shot later down the road. And finally, we get to hack number 10, and that is timing is everything. Knowing when to buy can save you thousands of dollars. What I find is winter months offer less competition with buyers and more motivated sellers. I mean, let's think about it. Who really wants to have their home on the market during the holidays, especially if you live up on the east and up north where temperatures get cold, it gets dark at 5 o'clock. I mean, who really wants to have their home on the market during Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, all the holidays, all the stuff that's going on there? The only person that's going to want to have their home on the market is somebody who's very motivated. So you've got motivated sellers, and yet the buyers have all basically packed it in and they're waiting for the spring of next year. So once again, take advantage of the fact of less competition with buyers and more motivated sellers. Start thinking, I would say, the fourth quarter of the year. Now, we always hear about the spring market, and I'm not going to say for a moment that the spring market is not a good time to potentially buy. The good news about the spring market is you'll definitely have more choice and more options. This is typically the time of year when more inventory is going to be on the market, so you have greater choice. However, you're also going to face greater competition. So timing is certainly very important. There's no question in the DMV area where I live, we definitely see seasonality. First 2 quarters of the year are very strong. The third and fourth quarters, things definitely slow down a little bit. So once again, if you're looking for a good time to purchase where you have less competition and maybe you can strike a better deal, get better terms, you might want to start thinking like the end of the third, fourth quarter of the year. However, this is what I would say. While timing is important, I think the most important thing is you find the right home. And whenever you find that home, you know what? If you find it, I would say don't overanalyze timing. If it's the right home, buy it. So there you have it, the 10 hacks for Gen Xers in 2025. And you know what? Actually, I really gave you that bonus hack. So 11 hacks. Hopefully you like this video. If you have any questions about purchasing or selling real estate, any questions you have with real estate, feel free to reach out to me. If you'd like to talk one-on-one, best way to contact me is scan that QR code there or hit the Calendly link in the description box below, and we can just set up a time for a one-on-one Google Meet session where we can talk about anything you want to talk about when it comes to real estate. Thanks once again, everybody, for checking out this new video, and I will see you next week.